Hey guys, it's Justin Moody with the Moody Olson team. As always, with my business partner Mike, puts the Olson in the Moody Olson team. Today we're going to talk to you about some of our favorite things to do in Vegas as locals. Obviously it's always, Mike and I are always on the strip, we're always gambling, we're always drinking and going to the shows. I mean, if you watch our videos, that's what we do.
I mean, if
Just
by all of that stuff you mean play golf and hang out at home.
Mike and I very rarely go to the strip. Vegas locals really don't go to the strip that often. There's so many great activities that you can do off the strip and in Vegas, especially because we're, although it does get hot in the summers and a little chilly in the winters, we are really a year-round town.
Oh yeah, absolutely a year-round town. Not just a year-round town, but around-the-clock town too.
Yeah.
Like Vegas never closes.
So today Mike and I are going to talk to you about the top 10 things that we enjoy doing as Vegas locals that really don't involve the strip. Mike, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I would love to start us off. So the stuff that we picked here, we tried to stick to stuff that's relatively family friendly and affordable as well. So we're not going to do a lot of talking about, say, going out drinking or going to, things that you wouldn't be able to take your kids to. I mean, some of the stuff might be more adult oriented. However, we tried to keep it a family friendly list. We tried to keep it something that's affordable, especially in today's economy with inflation the way it's at. Man, I know that I'm trying to stretch my dollars and Justin's trying to do the same. I'm sure that you guys are trying to stretch your dollars as well. So,
and Mike and I are both family guys anyway.
Absolutely.
So most everything we do involves our family.
Yeah, if I'm going to go out somewhere and do something, 99% of the time it's going to involve Stasha and the kids. I know that you love taking your little girl out to go do fun things. I get pictures from this guy all the time out doing fun things with his daughter. So we thought we'd share some of those things that we like to do with you guys. And the first thing I've got on my list is First Friday down at the Arts District here in downtown Las Vegas. And actually, I'm not going to just limit this to First Friday. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Arts Districts itself as well. But primarily, the main event that I'm focusing on here is First Friday. And for those of you who don't know, First Friday is an event that happens on the first Friday of every month. Down in the Arts District, it happens in the afternoons and runs into the evening. And it is really a celebration and exhibition of local art, local artists, local musicians, local makers, and it's an event that's run by the First Friday Foundation, which is a 501c3, a charitable organization dedicated to fostering local art here in the Las Vegas Valley. So I'm a big believer in that. I love supporting local art. I also love supporting my local community here. One of the reasons that we try to avoid eating at chain restaurants, we try to avoid, we try to keep it local. We try to keep the money here in our community. I encourage you to do likewise. That being said, First Friday down in the Arts District, what it is an outdoor festival, features all sorts of local artists. There are local musicians that are playing open air concerts. There are local makers that have booths set up selling whatever wares that they may have brought to the table that month. And it's just a really, really good time. It does get quite crowded. It is very popular depending on the weather. Obviously the crowds wane a little bit in the wintertime when it gets really cold, and the crowds can also wane in the middle of summer when it can be really, really hot. But in the spring and the fall time, it can get really crowded simply because it's a very popular activity. One thing that I will warn you about is the parking can be a little bit of a headache. And so you need to plan ahead. If you go online and you go to your search engine of choice and you type in First Friday Las Vegas, you should get the website that for the First Friday Foundation comes right up. And on that website, they have a link for parking. I'll make sure that the editor puts that link right here. Go on there in advance, click the link, follow the instructions. You can get your parking situated ahead of time. It'll make your visit to First Friday much more enjoyable. The event itself is actually free of cost. You can go down there, walk around, enjoy the art, enjoy the music. Obviously, if you want to get some food, that's going to cost you a little bit of money. If you want to buy something from one of the makers, of course, you're going to need to bring money for that. But you should also, while you're at it, check out just the Arts District in general. And you don't have to wait till First Friday to go check out the Arts District. So the Arts District is a small region of town just south of the downtown Las Vegas, so that would be like where the Fremont Street Experience is, if you're familiar with the more touristy oriented parts of Las Vegas. The Arts District is probably my favorite neighborhood outside of the one that I live in here in Las Vegas. So many great options for food. You've got places like, I'm gonna run down just a list of a few of my favorite places down there. You have Esther's Kitchen, which is an Italian restaurant, fantastic food. You have Casa Don Juan, which is a very old school Mexican restaurant, bright colors, yellow walls, lots of Frida Kahlo type art on the walls, really, really good house margaritas. Highly recommend those.
Really good chips and salsa too.
Excellent chips and salsa as well. Actually, I've never had a bad meal there, and I've had everything from the ceviche to the tamales to the enchiladas, you name it. Everything I've had there has been absolutely top notch. But I'm telling you, make sure you check out those margaritas. My buddy and I used to go down there and kill a pitcher, and it's a good time. I recommend it. Another place that I recommend would be Good Pie. That is a local pizzeria. They make fantastic pizza. You should also check out Craft House, which is one of our local Las Vegas-based breweries here. They have a tasting room in the Arts District. And if you don't want to be limited to just one brewery, just down the block from Craft House is a place called Cerveza. And Cerveza is a tap room that features local beers from various breweries around Nevada. So I'm always scratching the surface here, guys, of the stuff that's available in the Arts District. They have some really cool retro stores where you can go buy vintage clothing. There's a couple of awesome hair salons there. There is a horror-themed bar. There is just so much stuff worth checking out. I highly recommend it. Try to get out there on a day when it's a little cooler so you can walk around outside and enjoy all of the art. There's lots of graffiti style art that artists have come in and put up big murals. I actually took my family down there and we did a photo shoot with some of the murals down there as our family photo shoot. We had a really good time. So that is my first pick for a fun local thing to do. Go down to First Friday, or if you're not here on a First Friday, just go down to the Arts District and check it out, guys. There's a lot going on down there.
I'm surprised that you didn't bring up like your heart and soul in the Arts District.
Soul Belly Barbecue?
Soul Belly Barbecue.
Well, maybe I'm saving that one for our barbecue video, which I believe is coming up pretty soon.
It can't come quick enough.
Man, Soul Belly Barbecue, guys.
Yeah,
if you don't know about Soul Belly Barbecue, you need to look it up. It is my absolute favorite barbecue place here in Las Vegas, and we will be covering that. That will be my location when we do the best barbecue in Las Vegas. I'm putting it out there right now.
So another thing about the Arts District that we didn't really talk about, and I haven't done them and I would like to, is they do bar crawls.
Yep.
And then they do foodie crawls.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's like a tour, so you're basically going with a guide, and they're taking you to different restaurants down there that have signed up for this, and for one all-inclusive price, you get, to sample all the different restaurants that are, or bars that are part of that tour.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I will be looking into that.
Yeah,
that is my jam. Yeah. So.
So let me talk to you about some of the things that I really enjoy doing, and my first one is I'm really a festival guy. I love going to food festivals, art festivals sometimes, just medieval festivals, things like that. I love doing that kind of stuff.
Beer festivals.
Beer festivals. I'm glad you brought that up. Vegas is famous for beer festivals because we are a year-round town. We're a high tourist destination town, and now we're a growing town. Over 2 million residents here in Las Vegas. So we're starting to see more and more festivals coming up. One of them coming up here very soon at the Ahern, July 20th, my friend, is the Indoor Beer Festival.
Sounds like my jam.
Two of your favorite words in summer: indoor
and beer.
And beer.
That's right. Those are two of my favorite words.
So that's actually coming. They do that in July. My absolute favorite is the Great American Foodie Fest. That's usually in April, and they move it from year to year depending on how big it is. It's usually pretty large. This last year in April, it was at the Sunset Station in the parking lot because they get 70 or 80 different types of food vendors out there. Food trucks, cooking stations, and you name it, anywhere from desserts all the way up to really high-end food served out of a food truck. I know, like you can get the lobster truck is there every year.
Is that the Two Brothers? Two Brothers
I think
Lobster?
it's called Two Brothers Lobster.
Yeah, yes. I've had that. I've had lobster roll from that lobster truck, and it was really, really good. So if you're looking for a lobster roll, you can jump on, I believe if you jump on their Twitter or their X account now, you can find out where they're parked at for any given day and go grab a lobster roll. Very good. Not cheap, but
not
good.
cheap. And the great thing about the Great American Food Fest is that it kind of fits your budget, depending on what you want. There's usually a small cover charge, and I think last time I paid $8 per person, and kids get in for free. And then some of my favorite food trucks are there. I can grab. If you look at me, I like a dessert. I can get a churro. I can get an amazing funnel cake. They have really good burgers and dogs, and then they also have craft brew trucks that come in. So if you wanted to try a craft brew from a different part of the country, they're usually there. You can always tell when the Great American Food Fest is coming because you start to see food trucks and craft brew trucks from all over the country.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's not just Vegas people. They're coming in from Arizona, Utah, California, Washington, Oregon, a lot of those western states. So it really is a big variety of different foods that you can have, from wood-fired pizza to barbecue. Like I said, amazing hamburgers and hot dogs, the typical kind of festival food, and corn dogs, churros and funnel cakes, all the way up to lobster. And the last couple of years, you've started to see pho. There's a sushi truck. I know that you just got done doing a sushi video with Stasha. So glad I missed that.
Yeah, that's okay, bro. Trust me when I say I ate enough sushi for both of us.
I understand that you did. You did. So there's really a great variety on the different types of food at this festival. So that's probably my favorite, but Vegas gets all sorts of other festivals. There's a big one coming up here pretty soon in September. You've probably heard of the Life is Beautiful festival, and they bring in tons of artists from all over the country. Some big names, some smaller names, up and coming. They usually do that in September, and then of course EDC. So Vegas is really known to have big festivals, but they also have a lot of great smaller festivals for us who are not looking to deal with that tourist crowd.
Tell you a couple of festivals that I really enjoy. There are two festivals that we have here in town that Stasha and I absolutely love. The first one, we've mentioned it on the channel before, Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Viva Las Vegas is held every year down at the Orleans in April. It is the largest pre-64 car show in the world, and to my knowledge. And it is also the largest rockabilly festival in the world.
Okay.
So you get rockabilly bands, everything from, you'll get the big names like Brian Setzer and the Stray Cats, Jerry Lee Lewis used to play the festival, Lee Rocker used to play the festival. There are lots of the larger names in that community who play. I saw Dick Dale there before he passed away. But the overwhelming majority of the bands that play that festival tend to be small local rockabilly bands, mostly from Southern California, from the Las Vegas area. You'll get some from the East Coast, but you also get bands that come out here from Europe. You get rockabilly bands from Sweden. Rockabilly is very popular in France. It's very popular in the Scandinavian countries, and you'll get bands coming out from those places as well. We love that festival. They have a burlesque contest, they have a pinup contest, they have a rockabilly bowling tournament, they have all sorts of stuff. Tattoo artists on site selling tattoos. Just an absolutely great time. We go every year. Typically we just go on Saturday, we get the car show pass, walk around the car show, walk around the vendor booths, and we watch the big bands out there on the car show stage. The other festival that I absolutely love is the When We Were Young festival. That is a festival of all the bands that I grew up with and that Stasha grew up with. Given our age, it's all the emo bands, the pop punk bands, all those bands that were really big in the late 90s to early to mid 2000s. We absolutely love that stuff. You'll see bands like The Killers, you'll see bands, very reminiscent of like Blink-182 or Eve 6, that sort of thing. So that's another great festival to keep in mind that we have here in town. Although I can tell you it was canceled the other year because of it's held in the fall during monsoon season. It actually got canceled because of the high winds. So that was
that's right. Was the whole thing canceled or just a night?
No, they had to cancel the whole thing.
Yeah, that's rough.
It was bad.
So needless to say, Vegas has lots of festivals and that are away from the strip, so that us as locals really take advantage of that. For a list of festivals, it's easy. Just go to Google and just type in, upcoming festivals and events in Las Vegas, and those will all pop up with the dates and times, and they usually have a website and tell you how much they're.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you definitely want to check those out.
All right, guys. So my next pick for a fun local thing to do here is we're going to switch speeds pretty significantly here. This is something that you can do on the weekends because it's only open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But it's a great way to get out of the heat, and it's a cheap way to kill an afternoon walking around with your family or walking around with your loved one and just enjoying all the stuff that you can find, kind of treasure hunting. That is the Fantastik indoor swap meet right here in Las Vegas. It only costs $1 to get in, right? And there's plenty of parking. The whole building is air conditioned. So if it's Saturday and you want to get out of the house, you don't want to spend a bunch of money, what better way could you spend your day? Drive down to the swap meet. There's easy parking. Head inside. You pay $2 for you and your significant other to get in, or if you take the kids, a couple dollars, $1 for each kid. Walk around all day. Hundreds of vendors, guys. And this place has been there for over 30 years. So they are well established. And you have vendors who have been there for the majority of that time. So some of those vendors have been there for a couple decades. This isn't
like somebody emptying out their garage and bringing their junk down. I mean, these are
businesses,
storefront vendors in this swap meet. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and you can get in there. They have places where you can grab food for pretty cheap. It's
really
just
good food.
Really good food. Yeah, it's just a great way to spend a day, walk around, pick up some odds and ends. You never never know. And here's what I love about going to the swap meet: you never know what you're going to find.
Yeah.
Right, you absolutely don't know. You might find a new booth that sells something crazy that you've never even, it's one of those situations like I didn't know I needed that until I saw it.
That's always my thought when I go to a swap meet. I don't need that until I see it, and when I go to a swap meet, I always find something.
Well, here's the thing, right? I've never once gone to a swap meet to buy something. Yeah. I've never been like, I need an X, I'm going to go to the swap meet. No, I go to the swap meet to walk around and be inspired to spend $10 and find something that I absolutely don't need. But, support a local business. Get out, walk around, get your heart rate up, get your steps in, and it's just a good way to spend a day, especially like right now. We're filming this video in July. It is quite literally 110 degrees outside right now. So if I wanted to get up and move around and be active and I don't want to be outside, head down to the swap meet.
Absolutely. Really good popcorn and ices. It kind of takes me back to the old Kmart days.
Oh man, I can smell the smell that you used to get when you walked in the front door of a Kmart, which I haven't been in a Kmart in probably 20 years. So.
But I've taken my daughter there several times. Again, in the summer, just something to kind of get out of the heat and get some blood flowing.
Right.
And it's always popcorn and ices. Yeah. And it's just a great experience.
Great way to kill an afternoon.
Very nostalgic.
Great way to kill an afternoon for virtually no money.
Absolutely.
All right, Justin, what do you got?
So, as you know, Vegas is growing. Like I said earlier, we've expanded to over 2 million people. 2.5, I believe, was the last number. And I don't want to step on Mike's toes because I know he's going to talk about some stuff here. But the city is known for its events, both on the Strip and off the Strip. We have so many different places that we can go and see events and really experience Vegas. So my number 2 is just the opportunity for events. We have the Raiders here. We have the Golden Knights. When the Golden Knights started, it was instantaneous. It just became a hockey town overnight. We were very lucky in the fact that the first season, they were a very good team. They went to the playoffs. I believe they went to the Stanley Cup, but they lost that first year.
That's really unusual for an expansion team to be good out of the gate. I don't know.
Right out of the gate.
I don't know that I've ever seen a team have that much success.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a huge hockey fan. Nothing against it. I enjoy a hockey game when it's on, but I don't follow hockey like I follow baseball, right? But when's the last time you saw an expansion baseball team be good right out of the gate? Never, right?
Expansion, anything really out of the gate.
The Diamondbacks I think the Diamondbacks were the fastest expansion team to a World Series, and that was still 5 or 6 years.
The Knights, it was an amazing experience to see this town just grab onto this team, because it was really it was our first professional team, like professional, not minor league or double A or anything like that. This was the first big professional league that Vegas got, and so this town really gravitated to it. And I highly recommend going to a game when you get a chance. If you haven't been in T-Mobile, it is by far one of the best experiences I've ever had in an arena. And I've been to the Honda Center, I've been to the Staples Center, I've been to, I can't remember the name of it, the one in Arizona, I've been to one in Texas, and they're all great in their own way. But T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas is just hands down amazing. And then you can also get some fantastic concerts in there. I've seen 2 concerts in there and a rodeo.
Yeah.
Amazing experience there.
I've been there.
You've been? Okay, you have been there. Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right.
AEW, baby.
Okay, wrestling.
Had to go see my pro wrestling. You guys know I love it. No regrets.
Yeah. So because we're growing, because we are Vegas, we have access to amazing concerts. Mike and I have talked about on other videos, if there's a big name on tour, they're coming through Vegas.
Yeah.
At some point.
Or if they're not on tour, they're probably here in residency.
Or they're here in residency. But there's so many great local spots.
Oh yeah.
Away from the Strip, out in Henderson, you have the Dollar Loan Center, which is just a great location. Red Rock Hotel and Casino, they put on some great concerts by the pool. I'll let you talk about other things in Red Rock in a minute. So just the different events that we can go to. National Finals Rodeos here, that is on Las Vegas Boulevard, but it's not on the Strip. It's farther down, usually either at South Point, or they do it at the Thomas and Mack Center, or maybe over at T-Mobile they do a little bit of the events. I try and go every year, and you see a lot of locals there at the National Finals Rodeo.
Oh, for sure.
And they turn Fremont Street into basically just like a whole rodeo. They do a bull parade and a horse parade on Fremont Street when the rodeo's here. That just really kind of transforms the month of December. For you got Christmas and you've got the rodeo here in town.
Speaking of events, you know what we get next year, right?
What do we get next year?
WrestleMania, baby.
Oh, that's right.
WrestleMania here in Las Vegas.
At Allegiant Stadium.
You know I'll be there. you know I'll be there. We need to, that's right. Call the Moody Olson team so we can help you buy a house, because I need to buy those WrestleMania tickets.
Exactly. Not going to be cheap, and you're probably going to want to get a room.
Probably,
So
yeah, probably.
So yeah, and Allegiant Stadium, you know, touch on that, it's the newest stadium, and it is the most modern stadium, and it is a beautiful stadium.
It is very beautiful. I've been there for a Raiders game, and it was fantastic.
It is a gorgeous stadium. So what do you have? What's your number 2?
Well, we'll keep
I'm
it.
sorry, you're number 3.
Yeah, we'll keep it on the same theme here. I brought this one in because my family and I love this one so much. And it is, we've talked to you about it before, it's going to see an Aviators game down at Las Vegas Ballpark, right there in Summerlin. It is hands down probably my favorite family activity that we do here in Las Vegas. We go to several games a year. We've already been to 2 games this season. I'm sure we'll go to at least 2 or 3 more this season. You know, not to mention we're going to the Angels game next week.
I know,
So
I'm jealous.
Saturday night, going to the Angels game, taking my family down there. So I'm looking forward to
And
that.
don't forget, if you're a big Angels fan, or even if you're one of those Dodgers fans, 4-hour drive.
4-hour drive, that's right.
So very simple, very easy.
So, going to an Aviators game, in my opinion, is one of the absolute best ways to spend a Saturday afternoon or even a weeknight. We have Aviators games here all the time in Las Vegas Ballpark, which is consistently ranked as the top ballpark in all of minor league baseball, and for good reason. The facilities are absolutely fantastic. Yes. They have amazing food options there. I mean, great burgers, great gourmet hot dogs. They have pizza, they have Dippin' Dots ice cream, they have local craft beer on tap, they have handmade cocktails all over the park. You have stations where you can go purchase cocktails. One of the best team stores I've ever seen in a minor league ballpark, rivaling some of the team stores in some major league ballparks, if I'm being honest. The seats in the stadium are extremely comfortable. They're not hard plastic, they're actually made out of mesh, so you don't get that butt fatigue from sitting in a seat for 3 hours watching the ball game.
And it doesn't get too hot.
And they don't get too hot. That's
Breathable.
correct. Yeah, they're breathable seats. You got cup holders in the seat in front of you. The ball games there, every ball game I've been to there has been an absolute blast. So one of my recommendations for a fun way to spend a day, if you're a Vegas local or if you want to visit Vegas and live like a local, go catch an Aviators game. And as a bonus, since we're talking about Las Vegas Ballpark, I would be remiss if I didn't mention at Christmas time, they changed that ballpark, and I'll make sure the editors get some video of this for you guys. I don't have any video that I've taken myself, but we'll pull some off the internet. It's called Enchant Christmas. They turned that whole ballpark into a winter wonderland. And what they do is it's a maze that you walk in there, and you walk through the maze, and it's all beautifully decorated. And then at the far end of the maze, they have a huge ice skating rink. Yeah. Not just like a big circle either. It's like think of like a lazy river, but made out of ice.
Yeah, doesn't it kind of snake through the whole?
It does.
It
snakes through. When I went this past Christmas with my kids, and Stasha and her parents were visiting us, and we all went there together. Mm-hmm. And essentially, the ice skating area took up the entire third base side of the stadium. So it took up probably about a third of the field area. It was very big size, yeah. And we went out, myself and the kids, we went out and skated out there, had an absolute blast. We got hot cocos. It was just a great time. I mean, we were down there for probably I think we were probably down there for 3 or 4 hours. Now, it's not cheap. I don't remember exactly what it costs, but it's not the cheapest thing to do. But if you have the time,
it's like $35 or $40.
Yeah, per person. Yeah, it was definitely worth it. Like, I definitely didn't feel like I wasted my money.
Good. And you know, that's another great thing. I'm glad you brought that up. There's so many different things to do around the holidays here in town. You know, obviously you have Enchant, you have the Cactus Gardens out at the Chocolate Factory in Henderson. There's so many different things that you can do out here in the holidays. Vegas really can do the holidays right.
Oh, Vegas does a great job with the holidays.
You have ice skating on the Strip, you have ice skating off the Strip, we have several ice skating rinks.
Yeah, you got the ice skating rink at downtown Summerlin. Yeah. Vegas does a great job for Christmas, which really makes me happy because I love Christmas time. And especially after living 8 years in Colorado, you know, it's like I don't get the white Christmas anymore, which most of the time I'm fine with that. Part of the reason I moved here is to get away from the snow, but I did enjoy having it on Christmas Day. But Vegas does a great job of making it feel like Christmas time. So
yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I love as a Vegas local is the opportunity to see historic places or just something different and unique.
Absolutely.
So there's so many different great places to visit that are really only like a 20 or 30 minute drive.
Okay.
One of your favorite places, is also one of my favorite places, Boulder City. I love Boulder City. It's an historic mining town. This town was basically built and designed to house the men who built Hoover Dam.
Yeah, so it's a construction town.
It's a construction town. And back then it was called Boulder Dam, and then it was changed to Hoover Dam. So it started off to be a construction town built for the men working on that dam. And obviously it's transformed itself since then, but the theme of the building of that dam is very prevalent in that town. They have so many great antique shops, restaurants. You'll find a couple of Triple D places in there. So shout out to Guy Fieri.
The coffee cup.
The coffee cup is amazing.
Love the coffee cup.
Love the coffee cup. The antique shops. I love walking through the antique shops. Now when I take my daughter, I'm holding both of her arms together because the last thing I need is for her to start destroying stuff or grabbing stuff. But there's several different antique shops down there.
I'm the same way with Stasha.
But she's like wanting to buy it. Reagan just wants to destroy it. There's a great barbecue place there. There's a train museum there, and you can actually do train rides. And you can rent those. I wouldn't do it because it's way too much physical activity. Those trolley bike, those bicycles that you can ride on the train tracks. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
So you can rent those down there, and there's a portion of the train tracks that run along the mountains and the hills down there.
Might save that for the fall.
Yeah,
a little hot for that right now.
And you can rent those by the hour, so that looks pretty fun as well. And there's a couple of great golf courses out there that we have yet to hit up, and we will soon.
Yeah, Cascada's on my list, baby.
Yes. Well, even the Muni out there in Boulder City is supposed to be pretty darn good.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told. So Boulder City is very much high on my list. I also like going out to Prump. If you're a wine enthusiast, Prump has 2 wineries.
Yeah.
And from what I'm
and a racetrack.
And a racetrack. So if you want to learn how to drive a Corvette, it's a Corvette racetrack. And they even supply the Corvettes.
Yeah, they do.
Hundreds of them out there. It's not cheap, but they do have the race training out there. And they even have, I think they even have a hotel or Airbnbs that are attached to it.
We're not going to get into the specifics. There's some other entertainment options in Pahrump as well.
Pahrump is
if that's what you're into.
Yes.
Going back to Boulder City for a second,
yes.
though. You know what one of my favorite things about Boulder City is? This may not be something that you would think about if you're from elsewhere. But if you're from Las Vegas, one of the best things for me about going to Boulder City is I can go into a bar and I can sit down at the bar and not have a gaming machine in front of me.
This is true.
Because there's no gambling.
No gaming in Boulder City.
There is no gaming in Boulder City. Yeah. There's no gambling, there's no casinos, and the bars don't have video poker machines in set. You go into a bar in Vegas here, and it's almost impossible to find a bar where you can just sit and eat your meal or have a beer. A lot of times the tables at the bar, they have a little placard reserved for gamers, reserved for players, right? So if you're not gambling, and we're Vegas locals, I don't know about, I do know. Justin doesn't really gamble very often.
Nope.
I probably haven't placed a bet in over a year. The most that either one of us does is occasionally we'll go play a poker tournament or something like that. But we don't sit there and feed our hard-earned money into the gaming machines. I don't recommend that you do either unless you're here on vacation and you have a gaming budget. If you live here, Vegas really isn't the place to live unless you're a professional gambler and that's how you earn your living.
Or highly disciplined.
Or you're a highly disciplined recreational gambler. I don't recommend gambling for Vegas locals. It's a very good way to get yourself into a lot of trouble very quickly.
We've seen too many people get hurt themselves and their families in that.
Absolutely. So I don't really gamble aside from the occasional game of poker. Same for Justin. So going into a bar in Boulder City and being able to actually sit at the bar, which I enjoy. I'm a social guy. I like to strike up conversations with the bartender, talk to the people sitting next to me, much to my girlfriend's chagrin, believe me. I enjoy the fact that I can sit there and I don't have a video poker machine in my face. So that's a great thing.
And it seems like everybody out there is super friendly.
Oh yeah, Boulder City's great.
It's an historic town, and the people out there just, they're just not. It's not Las Vegas, so it's a completely different environment, and I like that. Real quick, there's a few other places that I like to visit throughout the year. Once or twice a year, I like to get up to Mount Charleston. Mike and I were talking today. We are going to get you a video about with Mount Charleston in there. Cabin homes, recreational homes, campsites, just a great place in the wintertime. It's known for skiing and snowboarding. Talked about the holidays. At the holidays, you can do sleigh rides, horse-drawn sleigh rides.
Awesome.
So Mount Charleston is about, I would say, 30 minutes from your house.
Yeah, right about there, yeah.
So the snow line.
Stasha and I drive up there occasionally to go do photography, just to get out and, first of all, it's 30 degrees cooler on Mount Charleston than it is in the valley. Yeah. So it's 110 degrees right now. I bet you it's only 75 to 80 degrees up on Mount Charleston right now. And we go up there and you can walk around on the hiking trails. We like to take our cameras up there and do nature photography just for fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something to get out of the house and do something, you know, get some fresh air, some exercise. So we love Mount Charleston.
Yeah. And then my last place that I like to visit, you know, annually, maybe even sometimes 2 or 3 times a year, just depending on what's going on, is I like either going out to Lake Mead or, you know, a quick hour-and-a-half drive down to Laughlin in the Colorado River. It's just, you forget that you have all this natural beauty. And, you know, even if you don't get on the water, obviously Laughlin's known for gaming, just like Las Vegas. But just watching the water just kind of flow by.
You know, another great option along those lines, it's a bit further of a drive, but worth it in my opinion, Lake Havasu.
I haven't been down to Havasu yet. I know that that's big for you.
Yeah, so I grew up going to Lake Havasu, being out from Ontario, California. That's kind of out on the east edge of Southern California. And my uncle had a ski boat, and we used to regularly go out to Lake Havasu for the weekend. There's a great area out there called Jump Off Point. You climb up this cliff, you jump into the water, it's nice and deep, it's real fun. The London Bridge is there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know that. The original London Bridge from London was deconstructed brick by brick, put on a ship, bought by a real estate developer who reassembled it on a man-made island connected to the mainland. And you can drive out there. I've actually flown over it in an airplane. I was doing some flying lessons out of the Henderson Executive Airport, and my flight instructor and I jumped in the Cessna and we flew down and did laps around the London Bridge down there. So that was fun.
Cool.
So yeah, great time. Like I said, it's a bit further drive, but there's some interesting stuff out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, Vegas has so many great things you can do off the strip, but you're not necessarily married to just being in Vegas because you do have so many places that are relatively close. I mean, talking 30, 40-minute drives that you can really enjoy the history of the Southern Nevada or just, the different environments that there are.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about them all. So that's another one of my favorite local things to do.
All right, guys. So for my next choice, it is we're going to keep these short because I know that this video is running pretty long. So my next choice is spending the day at downtown Summerlin, especially if you go down there on the weekend. Because on the weekends, every weekend, I want to say year-round.
I think so.
Yeah, every weekend year-round, downtown Summerlin has one of the best farmers markets in Las Vegas.
Huge.
So we have a whole video on the channel. We'll get the editor to put the link right here. We did, actually, I think it was our very first video.
It was.
We did a video on downtown Summerlin. We probably need to redo that because, man, we were rough back then.
Yeah.
But
not that we're that smooth now.
Not that we're that smooth now.
But we're smoother than we were then.
Well, we got, 52 videos under our belt at this point. So we're working on it, guys. We're getting better every time. We're trying. We want to make sure we bring you guys some great content. That being said, we did a video on downtown Summerlin. If you want to know more about it, go check that video out, at least until we put the new one up. Downtown Summerlin is a fantastic place to spend the day, especially when the farmers market is there. Lots and lots of vendors, awesome options out there. Downtown Summerlin really is an entertainment hub. They have so many great restaurants down there, everything from cheap eats all the way up to probably one of the best steakhouses in all of Las Vegas in Harlow. They have some great craft breweries down there. They have a tasting room, places that make some really good burgers. One of our favorite Mexican places.
Yeah.
Panchos.
Panchos.
Right? We like to go down there. My personal favorite store in the whole valley, the PGA Superstore.
Well, they also have Dave & Buster's.
They do have a Dave & Buster's and a movie theater. And all of this is literally right across the street from my previous choice, Las Vegas Ballpark. That is a great place to spend a day. This is one of the places that locals like to hang out. Lots of shopping, lots of dining, lots of fun things to do. Great place to spend the day with the family. Be warned, it is an outdoor shopping center though, so if you go down there on a day like today, it's 110 degrees out, it's going to be 110 degrees there too. So,
but there is a lot of coverings and walk under, so there's going to be a lot of shade.
They do provide quite a bit of shade, and you can always duck into one of the establishments if you need to suck up some AC. Personally, I usually like to go down to the tap room and, sit in their AC and drink their beer. So that's a good way for me to spend some time.
I'm sure they enjoy that too.
Yeah, I'm sure they do too. Or we go down to Dave & Buster's and let the kids play video games while I sit at the bar. So
I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, great. Yeah, so downtown Summerlin's amazing. It's got a great vibe. Like you said, some really great restaurants. Grape Street, probably one of my favorite Italian restaurants of all time.
Yeah.
So, let's take it a little bit of a different direction. Again, Mike and I are both family guys. We both like to find things that we can do with our family, and now we're going to get a little more sophisticated.
Spice it up, buddy.
So, and I know that you have something that's along these lines, but maybe a little bit on the more tamer side. The Smith Center, the Smith Center Performing Arts Center. This is right actually near the Arts District. I think it's just attached to it, just in the back a little bit. It's a beautiful, beautiful theater, and they get if off-Broadway plays, Broadway plays, different types of concerts. You're not going to find like a big a concert in there. Who's the big artists of today? I mean, I'm kind of out of touch with the music scene.
I still listen to Johnny.
Kids?
I still listen to Johnny Cash, man. I don't know.
So I don't know who the kids are listening to. Is it Taylor Swift? You're not going to get a Taylor Swift in there. It's not that big, but they do bring on some great Broadway plays. As of the filming of this, which is early July 2024, here's kind of a list of what they have coming, so you can get an idea. And some of these actually sound pretty attractive to me. Back to the Future, the musical.
That does sound fun.
I'm like,
I'm intrigued.
Yes. Shrek.
Are you starring?
I did not get an invitation for the audition. I'm a little upset. Hamilton, of course, and then The Wiz. I saw The Wiz back in LA years and years ago. I actually took my daughter's mother for her birthday. I took her there, and we saw Wicked for her birthday.
Oh, okay.
I took my mother there to see a very unusual play. It was an offshoot of the old play Oklahoma.
All right.
And this one was called Idaho. And you would have loved it because it was all about potatoes. If you don't know, now you know. Mike has a thing about potatoes. So it's just a really nice kind of upscale event, but it's not too pricey. It's just a really enjoyable place. They do have a wine bar and smaller venue right across the street, actually. So you can get dueling pianos, you might get some jazz in there. And then, of course, it's a wine bar, so you can enjoy some nice wines. And that usually goes 4 nights a week. So the Smith Center, to me, is definitely someplace that I try and get out to a couple times a year.
Right on. Well, let's roll right into my last one here. We got to wrap this video up, guys.
Yeah,
it's
we
getting
do.
long. We got to watch that watch time. My last one, right in line with Justin. And it's funny because we came up with our lists independently, so this was not pre-planned. The Super Summer Theater. The Super Summer Theater is an outdoor theater out in Red Rock Canyon, and it is absolutely fantastic, guys. First of all, this is Las Vegas, and we don't do anything halfway when it comes to entertainment in Las Vegas. The caliber of the performers at the Super Summer Theater and the Smith Center, for that matter, is absolutely top notch. It's going to rival if you were to go see a high-end play in Los Angeles, or if you were going to go see a high-end play in any big major metropolitan city. It's that same level of talent, right? Because we have no shortage of performers here in Las Vegas, and they all have to hone their craft somewhere. And so the Super Summer Theater is a great option. It's an outdoor theater. You sit out on the grass. General admission tickets are only $20 to sit out on the grass. They also have, you can get a VIP chair, which is they're like a Chase Lounge type chair for $75. Or for $150, you get a VIP blanket for 2. They have a special VIP section where they have blankets. You can have a couple there. Or for $250, it's a VIP blanket for 4.
Yep.
Right? Parking is only $10. The shows are absolutely fantastic. Right now, they are doing School of Rock, the musical.
Oh, nice.
Which I absolutely love Jack Black. I love the movie School of Rock. So I just found that out, and I'm actually going to look into seeing if maybe I can't get some tickets for us as a family while they're doing it. They're doing that play through mid-August. And then they had another one. I don't remember what the play that they had after that was, but I also remember seeing it on the website and thinking it looked pretty intriguing.
I took my daughter out there a couple years ago, and we saw Mary Poppins.
Oh, fantastic.
And it's one of her, my daughter's young, but I introduced her to the old classics. She absolutely loves the music, and she just thought it was the most amazing experience ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And to top it off, when we left, and if you don't know, now you will, surrounding Las Vegas and the Las Vegas Valley, we have 2 types of herds.
Yeah.
We have wild burro or donkey herds, and we have wild horse herds that they just roam all around the place. When we left, and it was a little bit late at night, it was hard to see, but they were standing right by the exit, was about 7 wild burros.
Really?
Just
That's cool.
Standing there doing their thing.
Right on.
And I rolled my daughter's window down. She got to see them, and she absolutely loved it. Made a great night even greater.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So my final place, it's actually two places. Like you've heard Mike and I talk about, we're family guys. You've heard me talk about my daughter. Two of the places that I spend my most time, or at least one of the places I spend my most time, is going to be at the Children's Discovery Museum. I've been to the Discovery Museum in Los Angeles. I've been to the Discovery Museum in Phoenix. Hands down, I think the one in Las Vegas is the best.
Right on.
This is a huge museum. It has so many different options. It has a waterworks where kids can see how water works and the flow of water and how it helps generate electricity and move different things. You can go up to, they have an art station where you can go up and work with different types of clays and paints. They have an entrepreneurial section where you can go up and really work with electronics and kind of learn the ins and outs if you want to start your own business or become an electrician or do things like that. So it just has so many different activities for the young ones to do. And my daughter really enjoys it. I have a hard time getting her out of there.
I bet. How much is it to get in there?
It's $13.50 for Vegas locals. So if you want to save that money, make sure that you transfer that license after you move here. Show them you're a Vegas local. It's $13.50 for an adult. Kids, I think it was $9.75. So it's really affordable. You can actually, I have the season pass for my daughter and I paid just a little over $100 for that. Totally worth it. And then of course the Springs Preserve. The Springs Preserve out here is exactly what it sounds like. It's a preserve. They have butterfly gardens. They have different areas where they show the different types of dinosaurs and their bones and museum quality type dig stuff. They have a botanical garden. They do different workshops out there and educational things for the kids. So the Springs Preserve is definitely a top-notch place.
Right on. All right, guys. We're going to wrap this video up. We know this one ran long, but we had a lot of stuff that we wanted to share with you. And I'm sure that we're going to have more videos like this because we barely scratched the surface on all the great things that we have to do as locals here in Las Vegas. But as you guys know, we are dedicated to bringing you the best locals-based Las Vegas content so that you know how to live like a local here in Las Vegas, along with our real estate content. Guys, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that bell icon so you get notified whenever we put out a new video. We put out 2 a week of the best content we can bring you, both to let you know how to live like a local here in Las Vegas and also to tell you about the real estate market here. Because if you want to move to Las Vegas, you should call the Moody Olson team and let us help you find your dream home. If you got a home to sell, give us a call. We would love to help you get top dollar for that home. If you're looking to move somewhere else, you can always give us a call. We have a nationally based network of real estate agents that we have access to. And before we hand out any recommendations, we always personally vet the agents on the other end to make sure that they're going to take just as good a care of you as we would. Remember, if you have lending needs, reach out to our partners Steve Schauer and Linda Vo. They're some of the best in the business. Steve's been doing this for over 20 years. They can help you get from where you are right now to where you need to be so you can afford that dream home for you and your family. And in the meantime, guys, I'm Mike.
I'm Justin.
And we're out of here.